make an average of about $200 a week working full time. And my new job is to stay alive using my mask that I shop in and getting my hands on any hand sanitizer I can find.
My new job is to stay alive. That was from a worried Instacart shopper, as employees at online delivery companies are now concerned about their personal safety amid this pandemic, staging walkouts, sickouts, as you just heard, and strikes to leverage management for higher pay and better health protections. Andy Puzder is a senior fellow at the Pepperdine University School of Public Policy. He's also the former CEO at CKE Restaurants, the parent company, as you would know, Hardee's and Carl's Jr. and others. And he is the author of the book, The Capitalist Comeback. Andy Puzder joins us now. Andy, good morning. Thanks for being here.
Hey, Sandra. Good to be here. Thank you.
So you're a really important voice in this conversation because you used to run that company that oversaw all of those restaurant chains. You had worker issues all the time. Some are calling these Instacart shoppers, Amazon packers, heroes because they've continued to work in this environment. Those Instacart shoppers play a key role in helping some of those most vulnerable shop in the grocery store and then leave it in their doorstep. Are the companies doing enough to protect them?
Well, I think the companies are doing what they can. Look at these people at Amazon and Instacart. These aren't stupid people. I mean, they know that the two most important things in a business are, number one, your employees, and number two, your customers. So I'm sure they want to do everything they can, one, to protect the employees' health. But if they're not protecting their employees, if they're allowing this virus to spread in their facilities, they're going to lose business. People are going to stop ordering from them. So I'm sure they'll do everything they possibly can. Now, they may not do what Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez wants them to do, because I think she would prefer that employees just get paid and stayed home 365 days a year, which is, of course, impossible. But I think these companies will do everything they can. I don't know if they're doing enough now. They should be very concerned about these demonstrations, because they're, if people get afraid to order online, they're going to stop ordering online, and that would be a disaster for the country right now with the current crisis.
It's an extremely valuable service that those individuals and their companies are offering. In the case of this Amazon worker at the facility in Staten Island, there has been a back and forth trying to reveal what exactly happened there, because why would that employee be fired in the middle of all of this? The fired worker put out a statement and said this, Andy: Amazon would rather fire workers than face up to its total failure to do what it should to keep us, our families, and our communities safe. I'm outraged and disappointed, but I'm not shocked. As usual, Amazon would rather sweep a problem under the rug than act to keep workers and working communities safe. Amazon responded with its own statement saying that despite that instruction to stay home with pay, he came on site. Today, March 30th, further putting the teams at risk. This is unacceptable, and we have terminated his employment as a result of these multiple safety issues. If you were to take this bigger picture, Andy, this is an example of so much of the concern, problems, coordination that these companies face with their employees to keep them safe, but also to keep them working.
Well, because you're an activist, that doesn't insulate you from abiding by the company's safety procedures. And if, in fact, he violated those procedures, then they were fully within their rights to fire him, and they should have fired him because he's in there doing exactly what he's protesting against. He would have been spreading the virus. Now, I don't know if he's done that. We don't know what happened. We've got two versions here, but I haven't heard him deny it in any of the statements that were issued, and therefore I think Amazon probably acted correctly. But that doesn't mean you should go firing employees every time they speak up either. And this is a big problem. Amazon needs to solve this.
Yeah, it is quite a back and forth that's happening. I just want to finish with the New York Attorney General statement that did get in there. Letitia James saying, in New York, the right to organize is codified into law at a time when so many New Yorkers are struggling, she says, and are deeply concerned about their safety. This action was also immoral and inhumane. The Office of the AG is considering all legal options. So I think that's a story we're going to watch for some time. But Andy, final thoughts. You wrote about the big capitalist comeback. What happens after we get through the worst of this on the medical side and saving lives, and then we see the administration try to open the economy back up? How much can we come back, and how fast can that happen?
Well, we can come back very quickly if Trump does what he did during the first 3 years of his administration and steps back and encourages businesses to hire, lowering taxes, reducing regulation. I hope that we don't make the mistake that we made at the end of the Great Recession with the Obama administration, where they came in with the stimulus and the Affordable Care Act and the Dodd-Frank Act, attempting to take advantage of a crisis to enact some socialist collectivist agenda. We need to make sure that American businesses are free to grow, that they have the ability to grow, that the government isn't suppressing that growth, and we'll come back very quickly. So I think Trump's last 3 years, the first 3 years of this administration, were a perfect roadmap for what we need to do when this crisis is over. And Obama's 8 years are a perfect roadmap for what we shouldn't do when this crisis is over. So I think we can come back quickly.
Well, there has been bipartisan support for at least that stimulus for now to get out to those struggling American families.
Well, we need it.
We need
it now. We need it now. We don't need it when this is over. When it's over, it's over. We need it now to get through this. There's nobody's arguing about that.
Andy Puzder, great to have you on this morning. Thank you.
Thanks, Sandra.